Hi everyone, Scorp here. Going to go ahead and do another warrior, this time a dark warrior deck list. This is, again, I am not, my favorite decks do not include, are not completely warrior themed, so this is, there are probably people that have better warrior lists than I do, but this is what I would use for like a dark warrior list. So let's go ahead and get started. This deck is basically its goal, get out Blackluster Soldier, get out Garma Sword, use those two, use the fusions from those to eventually play Sword Stalkers. Sword Stalkers used in the fusion with Kaganingen to make Garma Sword. And basically, instead of making the last Garma Sword, you just play out a Sword Stalker because it's going to be like a 4,000 attack creature, and so that makes itself a bomb. So going through, Vishwar Rondi, just a dark warrior that's level 3 that has open card, increased strength. Again, I like level 3 warriors, like I said in the last episode. Then Temple of the Skulls, definitely could get removed, but I really like this effect. You can turn this off, by the way, so if you just switch this thing to attack mode, you can turn its effect off and then turn it back on the next turn. So you can basically just control when spells are activated. Not too many opponents use spells, but I mean, if you go up against like the person that uses a burn deck in this game, you basically just turn off their entire strategy, and one card to just basically turn off an entire deck is pretty good. It's also, like, if you're playing against another person, there's a lot of really annoying cards that you can just get around with this, especially with, like, Magic Neutralizing Field. You can, because this deck has so many cards that use power-ups, it's really useful. Then Kaganingen, again, this fuses with Sword Stalker for Garma Sword. It also can't take damage in battle, and you can flip it and duplicate them, so it's really nice against aggressive opponents, because you can just basically have them, like, they multiply and they're super annoying to actually get rid of. And then Sword Stalkers, again, this is probably one of the strongest Dark Warriors, and it also fuses into Garma Sword, so definitely worth including. This effect is great for using late game, so like if the game somehow manages to not be over in the first 5 turns, which most games are probably going to be over then, Sword Stalkers become absolute bombs later in the game. Then, to no one's surprise, 3 green Kappas. This thing's effect is absolutely broken, and it's a Dark Warrior. I'm going to include 3 of them. Now for some odder inclusions. Tactical Warrior plus Gaia. These fuse to make Blackluster Soldier. This is probably the part of the deck that I would cut out the quickest. I really, like, this is the part that causes summoning power problems for this deck, but I really wanted to stay with the dark theme and get to Blackluster Soldier, so I did include 3 of them and 3 of these. Tactical Warrior is not terrible to actually play on its own. It has a decent effect, and then it can be fused with later after using its effect, so not bad. Gaia is actually a strong enough card I can justify playing it, so they're not that bad to play, but it just feels bad when you don't draw the fusion, or when you start your turn and you're like, oh, I have 3 summoning power. And that kind of happens a little bit more in this deck, because Sword Stalkers and this fusion come up more often than like the previous deck, where almost everything was like level 3 and below. Next up, 3 Eye Armors. These really help with the summoning power, since they're only 2, and they have such an insane effect, and you just include them. Especially since they're warriors. It basically will never come up where you want to equip these, but Sometimes you equip them after you flip them, so not terrible. Swordsman from a foreign land, again, just this card destroys an opponent creature. I don't want to equip them, I just want this in my deck to have 3 pieces of really cheap removal, and this deck's deck cost is... it gets up there really quick, so that's why these are here. Ancient Tree, again, this is another deck with basically no traps, so I just like to have an Ancient Tree. This time 3 Sogans. This deck needs stuff to do other than summoning creatures, so Sogans are great for that. Heavy Storm, this is just a card to use against another person. This is absolutely a flex slot. You can do whatever you want here. I just like to have a Heavy Storm when I'm going for lethal, just use this card and my opponent just doesn't do any, can't have anything that responds, so that's really nice. Soul of the Pure, healing, sometimes you need that. Magical neutralizing force field. Again, super overpowered card. Glad it got nerfed to 25 deck cost in this mod. It's still broken at 25. It was utterly absurd at 10. It just does way too much with one effect. 3 Sword of Dark Destruction, 3 Kunais, and 3 Megamorphs. Megamorph just instead of Dark Energy, just because you can sometimes want to equip your Gaia or something and not feel too bad about it. Cursebreaker, it's a nice card to... it's just always a good card. It's also 1 deck cost if this deck was getting expensive. And then Goblin Fan to some Ruryoku hate. There's a whole bunch of Dark Warriors that I didn't include. I did not include Lackluster Soldier. I can fuse into it. This card's just super expensive, and 8 summoning power is just a pain to play. I'm also never going to play Gate Guardian. 11 stars is absolutely awful to play. You can... it's just a brick that'll sit in your hand for like 4 turns before you can play it. Otherwise, I'm not going with like the Succubus Knight package, and the Hungry Burger Fusion uses Battle Steer, which is a level 5 Beast Warrior. I really didn't want to do that, so... you might be able to do a Hungry Burger with like a Beast Warrior deck leader because of its summoning cost reduction, but even then that sounds terrible. Then Hungry Burger's just left out to dry, so I don't know. I don't really like that card, and there's not really much more for Dark Warriors to go through, so. This is just some of the better stuff that I can throw in. Also, Sword of Dark Destruction works on Tactical Warrior, just as a reminder. We'll go ahead and, of course, we're going to start with Tristan, just to... here's the baseline warrior opponent. And, of course, you can take out the Megamorphs and put in Ruryokus if you want to for some of the harder opponents, or for if you're playing another person and they let you use Ruryokus for some reason. Definitely a good option. So this is where the Garma Sword Fusion's really nice, because you can do it really early in the game. I figured that was a block attack, so... and so Sword Stalker's not that strong early game. That could be a Blackluster Soldier with an equip. I'll check the graveyard to see what it was. It was! So that's 4,300. So we're gonna sidestep, back up, and place one of these in defense. and watch him blow up his strongest creature to something that is 10 deck cost. Garma Sword would have also gotten over it. This is why destruction effects are so strong. Just a demonstration. I'm going to flip over a tactical warrior here of my own. Yeah, that is a trap. It is almost certainly acid trap hole that he played next to him. He's sure to play a whole bunch of equips this game. We can do... we can't play that in there. Do be careful with his open card, so... we'll just... I'm just gonna chuck this right into his, acid trap hole here. Now our open card activates. We're in definitely a fight that has way more open card than is usual. I can't get over that with anything in my hand other than Green Kappa, but I can't even play that here, so I'm just gonna duel. Open card, super annoying to deal with. As you can see, I don't enjoy dealing with it, but also the computer doesn't have a good time dealing with it either. Next, I think I'm gonna go after somebody that uses, like, spellcasters, so I can show off Garma Sword, maybe? We'll start with, Grandpa, or Jasper Dice Tutor. He does like to use equips, so this Curse Breaker can be pretty good. The card wasn't equipped, so... yeah, we'll definitely do this fusion. This man doesn't really use, spells, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. 2850 is pretty good, especially since it gains attack power against spellcasters. Yeah, plus 800 attacks, pretty good. Just throw more cards. Again, since I have summoning power problems because my deck's so heavy, I kind of just have to do this thing where I use spell cards to buffer how much I can play, which is pretty fine, but... Magic Jammer. That'll be good. This is a nice big card. Oh. let's not let that ever actually get to do something, because Namoriko kind of counters this deck. Good thing I saw it with my leader power, because if I didn't, I would have just had a huge problem to deal with. Ooh, invitation to a dark sleep, huh? And of course it's a flip effect creature, and it kind of broke his AI. This invitation looks like a good choice for that. Again, open card's super strong, so... Also, if I can draw a Sogan, it's... spellcasters have really bad problems on this kind of terrain, so... Okay, game, don't freeze, please. This will make him attack it. Well, actually, no, it won't, because that's inside of his summoning range. That's the only reason it's the 3,000. Ooh, another Magic Jammer. I'll make a second Blackluster Soldier next turn. Is that at 2,700? Ooh, a power decrease, I'm so scared. So... Again, another Blackluster Soldier. Doing a check. My leader power also decreases the power of spellcasters? Cool. I thought it was just dragons. Well, that's pretty nice. But as I said, this kind of deck is... It has its issues, but mainly summoning cost, but it can still play some really strong creatures, is the main reason the deck is pretty decent. And it has survival tools and things it can play while it's waiting for summoning power, so it's not terrible. I don't know why I'm doing slots on a save that has literally every card. And then I'm gonna just go ahead and show what I'd remove for Ruryoku's, and then go deal with somebody that... Ruryoku should be here. So now it's a 1200 deck cost deck. It's just a lot more expensive, but if you're going against some of the more strong opponents, like this person, 1200 deck cost is just fine. And then you can use 3 Ruryokus, and Ruryoku is really, 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 really strong. So if we draw one, we pretty much win. And again, I would just remove that Megamorph for it. This guy also uses really annoying traps. So let's just say no to those. Ooh, goody. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So that when that card that he just played leaves his leader's summoning area, it's going to actually be weaker than mine. It's also a Fiend Sword, I believe, so... normally a Sogen would be really nice for me, but... I'm just using it because I want to wait for enough summoning power for Blackluster Soldier. Against a person like this that you know is going to be a... since you know the field's all meadow, basically, you just can ignore... you can remove the Sogens from the deck if you wanted to cut down on cards that you don't need. I did draw the magical neutralizing field. Definitely not the best card to draw right now, but see what card that is by moving my deck leader over. Again, this is a person that's real. He uses green kappas, so the leader ability is really useful. So this should be tied with the Fiend Sword that he has there. Okay, I can't chase that down. And then I'm going to fuse a Barmasaur here. Just go over here, and I mean, this is 1400. It can't even get over this, so stay that way. Show. Oh! That's a perfect card to hit with the leader power. This leader power absolutely wrecks Great Kappas and Eye Armors. I don't know why I'm throwing that down. I have something that says I can't use traps, but... And I also have Ruryokus in my deck. I also don't use Horn of the Unicorn in this deck because I just find it doesn't really go on just about everything, and it's just annoying to use because of that. But this game's over. So again, strong deck. Sword Stalker eventually becomes strong, but it's not that good of a card until way later in the game. I should also mention for the jar control deck that I made, you can definitely put a Muka Muka in that deck and make it significantly stronger if you want to thread at the end of the game, because its effect is basically the same as Sword Stalker except stronger. So just thought I'd mention that. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a nice day.